Very good evening to you all. Today, this evening is so pretty. The dinner will be ready in our kitchens within few hours. But will it be consistent in next few months or years? That is one of the major issues that we are currently facing as a country. I would like to warmly welcome you all for this event organized by the Water Forum of IESL in collaboration with Lanka Janata. Currently, Sri Lanka is experiencing an agricultural crisis that will lead to a shortage of food. The crisis is also likely to hit the livelihood of farming community. Engineers working in the irrigation and water resources sectors need to work hard to mitigate the harmful effects and assist in securing adequate food supply, while ensuring the best possible allocation for most needed power and domestic water. During this discussion, it is expected to discuss the challenges and alternative paths to face it. Further, it is intended to get the views of other stakeholders to get a broader view of the issues and solutions. For that, the organizing committee decided to invite 3 professionals who are currently engaging in the water sector in Sri Lanka. They are Engineer D. Abesiriwardana, Engineer Nilantha Dhanapala, Engineer Navaratnam Sudhakaran. Now it's time to give them the opportunity to present their presentations. Before starting their presentations, I would like to give you a kind reminder to you all, that is, to keep your mics off and please put your questions into the chat box so that we will take them and discuss them during the panel discussion. Without wasting more time, let's move to the first presenter. Engineer D. Abesiriwardana graduated from the University of Peradeniya in Civil Engineering and Chartered Civil Engineer, ranking to a fellow member in Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. Presently working as the Director of Irrigation, Water Management in the Irrigation Department and responsible for water management in major irrigation systems in Sri Lanka. In addition to the above official capacity, he is the member of representing the public sector in the Engineering Council of Sri Lanka. He has extensive experience in the water sector and irrigation management for more than 28 years, mainly in the government sector and about 3 years in the private sector. He has written books on irrigation management, irrigation projects in Sri Lanka, hydraulic civilization of Sri Lanka, and public service engineers. And also, he has published many paper articles about the engineering profession in national newspapers. He is a part-time lecturer for engineers and engineering diplomats at Sri Lanka Institute of Development Administration, Irrigation Training Institute, Galgamuwa, and Kothmale International Irrigation Training Institute. Engineer D. Abesiriwardana, sir, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Janaka. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, I must thank IESL and Water Forum for inviting me to present this hot topic today. Madam Kamalasa, Chairperson, Water Forum IESL, and other presenters, Engineer Dhanapala and Engineer Sudhakaran, and our Director General, Engineer Nihal Srivardhana, also here. Thank you very much, sir, your participation for the webinar today. I would like to present about the present situation of Yala cultivation under the Irrigation Department. And you know the vision of the department, the great statement made by Kin Parakram Bahu, Great Kin. And mission of the department is the water resource management under the various topics, mainly for irrigated agriculture and environmental, forest and wildlife, and drinking water and industrial, hydropower contribution, and domestic entertainment, flood protection and recreational value, etc. Many values from irrigation and water resources. And we have 4 monsoon pattern in Sri Lanka: first inter-monsoon, southwest monsoon, and second inter-monsoon and northeast monsoon. Annual average rainfall of Sri Lanka is 1,861. These are well-known figures, no need to explain. And total quantity received from rainfall is 122,000 MCM to Sri Lanka, and usable surface runoff water is about 52,000 MCM, and stored water in all water sector institutions is about 9,000 MCM. And national contribution from the irrigation and water resources is mainly for the food security, rice and the OFC. 80% of the national demand is provided by the major irrigation in Sri Lanka. Hydropower generation also about 40% of the annual demand, which will be more elaborated by our next presenter, Engineer Nilantha. And drinking water supply also provided by irrigation reservoirs and rivers, about 49% of the population. Inland fisheries also a major component in Sri Lanka, not counted the economic values. Flood protection and disaster management, another subject. And main factor is job security for the farming community. Full-time farmers, about 20% of the population, and part-time farmers, about 15% of the population. And also maintain water table and groundwater recharge are the other benefits from irrigation reservoirs, and forest and wildlife conservation, recreational values, etc. And major medium dams in Sri Lanka under the various institutions in the water sector is shown as here. And Irrigation Department, Mahavi Authority of Sri Lanka, CEB, National Water Supply and Drainage Board, Provincial Council, all 9 provincial council, and total we have about 129 major dams in Sri Lanka. Medium type dams Sri Lanka also about 284. All together we have about 213 dams in Sri Lanka in 103 river basins. And cultivable lands in Sri Lanka is about 1.7 million acres. Sorry for this, all these figures are in acres. Under the Irrigation Department, we have about 774, 513 acres that various sectors in major irrigation, medium irrigation, drainage, and lift and micro irrigation as like this. And under Mahavi Authority of Sri Lanka, 265 acres. And minor irrigation, we have different figures. According to our database, 575 acres under the Agrarian Development Department and 9 provincial councils. And also rain-fed acreage also 183,000. We may have minor changes in minor irrigation figures. Sorry for that, but tentatively, according to our database, is as such. And irrigation system under Irrigation Department, we have a big institutional framework island-wide. Regional directors office 14 range, and divisional irrigation engineers 52, and unit office 215. Major medium irrigation schemes and anicularity scheme, drainage scheme, lift and micro. Total number of irrigation scheme under Irrigation Department is 387, and irrigable land about 774 as explained earlier. Total storage capacity is 4,000 MCA. And this is the river example for river basin. All the reservoirs are in one cascade system. We have 103 river basin. All the reservoirs are in cascade system. This is to explain the cascade system. This is Galway Basin. All the reservoirs are interconnected. And this is for especially new engineers, distribution system of an irrigation reservoir. We have the reservoir and irrigation facility area with the paddy fields, and schematic diagram like issue tree also explained here: reservoir, main canal, canals, field canals, and other canals in issue tree format. And average reservoir behavior under the irrigation department reservoir is like this. Dark blue color is 2021 reservoir behavior, and light red color dotted line is long-term average in all the reservoirs, and red color dark one is 2022 reservoir behavior up to now. With that, you can see there won't be any water problem this year. That reservoir behavior is similar to long-term average. And this is the website of the irrigation department. We update daily all the major reservoir status and cultivation data to our website. Anyone can see all this data from irrigation department website. And now also special features such as spilling and seasonal reservoir behavior also you can see from the irrigation department website, and technical details of all the major medium reservoirs and irrigation schemes are included in the website. This is the figure today we got. Our reservoir average percentage is today is 60% overall average. And minor irrigation tank also developed recently by Vari Saubhagya program included in the website. Many other technical data, hydrological data, all are included in the website now. Any citizen can see all these data. And this is the structure in the scheme level according to the irrigation ordinance, that is the law. Project management committee, cultivation meeting, etc. will be according to the irrigation ordinance. Then project management committee is chaired by the project manager, appointed by the secretary to the Ministry of Irrigation, and divisional irrigation engineer, divisional secretary, and agriculture officer, divisional officer from agrarian, and cooperative development officer, and vet surgeon. All agriculture related officers are the members. A specialty here is farmers representative are the majority. More than 50% of the farmers should be in the project management committee. The cultivation meeting is the special event of the project management committee chaired by GA, government agent or divisional secretary. Then all these decisions are taken with the beneficiaries and participation of all other stakeholders. Not only paddy, we do other field crops, maize, green nut, various or other field crop varieties we cultivate in irrigation fields now. And lift and mic irrigation demonstration farm also we have under the irrigation department. About 10 model farm for the demonstration purpose we maintain in various districts now. We want to, our Director General want to further develop this model farm for the demonstration purpose. And national food security targets, annual targets for main crops cultivated in major irrigation area is like this. This is the statistics given by the agriculture department. So you can see that our national requirement, paddy requirement is 3.5 million metric ton. But this year, from the Yala season, according to the agriculture department, we need 500,000 hectares to be cultivated to achieve the national target. I will further explain about this figure at the end of our slides. And these are the cultivation performance in last 6 years in major irrigation under the irrigation department. Almost all the extent, more than 90% in Maha and about 80% in Yala we have cultivated in last 6 years. And cultivation performance and paddy production under the irrigation department extent is stipulated as here, and 2019-20 Maha, 2020 Yala, we do third crop as well. The last 3 years figures are indicated here. You will worry about, according to the today's webinar topic, you will worry about the Yala season. National paddy requirement is about 3.5 million metric ton. Last Maha, we produced 0.85 million metric ton according to the statistics in the agriculture sector. Last Maha, we lost about 0.549 million metric ton due to the fertilizer problem. Balance requirement should be coming from this Yala, that is about 1.824 million metric tons. Expected target from Yala, if fertilizer available, according to the average yield, is about 1.315 million metric ton. But already we lost about 0.5 million metric ton. Expected target from Yala, if fertilizer is not available, from last Maha experience, we received about 55% of the yield from the average yield. So if the fertilizer is not available, we will get 0.8 million metric ton. That means about 1 million metric ton loss will create in the country. To recover the loss, we need to cultivate additional 54 acres if there is no fertilizer in this country, according to the figures taken from the field and other stakeholders. And this is the Yala. We have planned, under the guidance given by Director General, we have planned more than 87% of the command area. You can see the present situation in Yala. In all the districts, we have daily updated all this data. Now, plowing completed about 74%, and sowing completed about 62%. That is the big target and big achievement with this prevailing scenario. We Irrigation Department have done big effort with the ministry and other divisional secretaries and GAs and Agriculture Department with the participation of other stakeholders. Very big effort to achieve this target. Now, farmers have decided to do the cultivation. We have to push the farmers now. And drinking water supply projects, actually that is, we have already solved now. Before 2020, we had only 92 water supply projects under the irrigation and rivers, thereby 550 MCM abstracted. During 2020 and 21, another 58 water supply projects were identified together with National Water Supply and Drainage Board, and we have given approval for another 325 MCM abstraction. Pending approval is about 18, and all together about 973 MCM abstract for drinking water purpose. That is 10% of our reservoir capacity. And challenges, these are the important subjects. Irrigation Department already identified these challenges and already taken necessary steps. But this is to aware our engineering community and other stakeholders for further development of this subject. And challenges, establishment of food security with the prevailing economic crisis. It is a big challenge. Not like those days we are facing a big economic crisis. Food security problem is not properly identified by the society due to various other sensitive subjects now. They are waiting for fuel and gas, etc. Most of the people also do not worry about their food security and national food security. That is we identified. And quality and quantity problems of provided organic fertilizer during the past Maha and previous year, where we got many complaints, quality and quantity problems. And government decided to import fertilizer and chemicals, but delay due to the prevailing crisis situation. You can understand we have no dollars and everything. There are many problems faced now. Government changed the policy, but now in a troublesome situation. Shortage of fuel for land preparation, we interfere as much as possible to settle the issue, but with the fuel supply rate, we face some problems in some areas. Rapidly increasing cost for tractors labors, and other needs. That cost of land preparation also goes unexpected way. That farmers cannot face this price hike for their land preparation. Significant evaporation. As engineers, we must understand significant evaporation in this country. About 5 millimeters evaporation occurred every day. So we cannot maintain this reservoir level as it is. Whatever we do, cultivate or not, reservoirs level will go down. With the Yala season especially, coming 2-3 months will be very dry. So we cannot maintain reservoir water level without issuing. We close the sluice gate or not, reservoir water level will go down. Full extent cultivation is necessary for effective hydropower generation. Engineer Nilanta will explain very clearly about this matter. If you want to do the effective hydropower generation, we have to reutilize that water quantity for the cultivation. That is the cascade system in Sri Lanka. And also we face social unrest within the farming community. The farmers are also part of the community, so they also face this complicated situation. And field officers in other line agencies in a major irrigation area, they think that we have to say this is the job duty of the irrigation, and they are little reluctant to interfere for alternative solutions. We already proposed to do some other field crops in our irrigation lands, but the other line agencies need further support. So irrigation alone cannot do this subject in major irrigation areas. Also, we identified concession for farmers to purchase seeds. They are in trouble to purchase seeds, and seeds also not available in some areas. District-wise targets are not. Earlier in National Food Security Program implemented in 2017, we had district-wise target, but now it is not so. We need to identify district-wise target depending on the situation of each district. ID has no authority. ID has authority only for water resource management and some other small activities in these crucial areas. Challenges are beyond ID mandate actually, but as irrigation engineers, we are doing as much as possible in major irrigation areas. These are the big challenges identified by the irrigation department, and our suggestions are on the one side, implementation of proper awareness to field officers who are directly involved with farming community is very much important at this situation. They are not worried about the food security. According to the information coming, we have foods only for another 2-3 months in the country. So we have to do something. This is so dangerous subject now. All field officers in agriculture sector, including irrigation, should be entrusted to a target and monitored well. Arrangement of fuel supply for land preparation work is priority, should be in priority basis. We have already arranged that arrangement, but fuel supply is very low some areas. But in irrigation areas, now it is more than 60% is sold, but there are lagging cases in some districts. Immediate cultivation without further. Now our Yala season already 1 month delay, and we need to do some action. If you can't do paddy cultivation, we have to motivate the farmers for other field crops, green gram, soya, whatever possible, we have to do the cultivation without abandoning the valuable land. We have enough water for this Yala season. So we have to start some cultivation. So at least 2 months variety, any kind of vegetable or whatever we have to do. And propose to government for considerable concession for purchasing seeds at least we propose. And district-wise crop potential should be identified for and publicity should be given. We have made some media programs, several programs under the direction of Director Generals and other invitation by private media, but most of the media has given support. But in general, we are issuing message every day, but some media's negative message is coming all the time. So we need positive message for the farmers to motivate. That is our thinking as irrigation department. Thank you so much.
Dear sir, thank you very much for your very informative and very interesting presentation with raising up the challenges currently facing in the agricultural and irrigation sector, especially with the suggestions. I would like to remind you that I think one participant has asked whether he can ask questions. Yes, sir, you can ask questions during the panel discussion time, or else you can put the question in the chat box so that our organizing committee will take the question into a piece of paper and forward it to the moderator to discuss in the panel discussion. Again, I would like to remind you that please keep the mics off with muted, and please forward your questions to the chat box so that we can take them to the panel discussion. Now it's time to move to our second presenter. He is Engineer Nilantha Dhanapala. Engineer Nilantha Dhanapala obtained his bachelor's degree from Faculty of Engineering, University of Peradeniya in 1999 and successfully completed his master's in the field of Environmental and Water Resources Engineering in 2015. He is a chartered engineer at Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. He has academic achievements in water systems modeling, water resource planning, groundwater hydrology, and many related fields. Starting from the project engineer and design engineer level, he has held so many positions in the water sector. He was the chief engineer and the design engineer. He was the chief engineer in the Mahavi Authority of Sri Lanka, deputy director Kulloya Reservoir Project, deputy project director in the Umaoya Multipurpose Development Project, project director in the Maduroya Right Bank Development Project. Currently, he is the director, Water Management Secretariat in the Mahavi Authority of Sri Lanka and Deputy Director General in Technical Services in the Mahavi Authority of Sri Lanka. Dear sir, the stage is ours. Yours.
Yes, good evening, everybody. So, you know, my history is explained my colleagues. So, I think you can see this map. So, this is the upper part of the Mahavi Sri Lankan map. It shows the Mahavi development area and developing area. The bottom part indicates the Valava system. This map shows the water disposition system in the Mahavi River and adjacent rivers. I think all the engineers know everything in the water disposition, but I explain in brief. I think you can show my cursor. So before that, I think it is better to explain in the function of the water management secretary. That's important. This water management secretariat is established under the Mahavi authority. Actually, it is an independent organization. However, under the established Mahavi authority. So it's I briefly introduce this function. So one function is provide the irrigation water for every user in equality. The second one is providing domestic water and industrial water. And third one, the maximum hydropower generation while providing irrigation water and drinking water and domestic water. This is a function of the WMS. So other minor functions are there, but I don't take much time to explain those things. So this next I am going to go this map. So this is a Kotmale, you know, every person. So the Kotmale reservoir, it has the power capacity, megawatt 200, nearly 200. After here, the big line of the blue big line is denoted as the Mahavi River. Then after Kotmale, you can see the Polgola barrage. From Polgola barrage, there is a tunnel to divert water to northern parts. So after when diverting the water to Polgola barrage, there is a Ukuela power plant. It produces nearly 40 megawatts. After Ukuela, we have the reservoir Botan. After Botan, we have the another tunnel. After the tunnel, the water goes to the Puruluava, Anuradhapura, and Tambuttegam area. That is you know the Kalava system. So after Botan, the power generation of Botan, there is a 40 megawatts in power generation capacity in Botan. After power generation, the water will goes to the Moragahakand. Moragahakand also has the capacity for power generation. It is nearly to 25 megawatts. And after power generation from the Moragahakand, the water goes to Alahara, Paraksan Samundre, Giritale, Kaudula, and Kantale area. Then we will come to the Pologola. If you go to downside of the river, the Mahavi River, then we will find out the Victoria Reservoir. Here we have the nearly 210 megawatt power capacity. After generating the power, the water will goes to the Randanigala. Randanigala also has the power capacity 126 megawatt. After the Randanigala, we have the another reservoir Rantabe. It is called Rantabe. The Rantabe also the power capacity 50 megawatts. After Randanigala, we know we have the Anicut. It is called the Minipe Anicut. Minipe Anicut, there are two sources, two diversion canals. One is called the Minipe LB canal. It goes to the Hasalaka area, and another canals, the right bank canals, it goes to the Ulhetia Mineri Reservoir. While water divert to the Ulhetia reservoir, the water will provide to the Mayangan area also. You know the Sorabara, Dambara, like that. These are under the irrigation department. Directly under the Ulhetia, there is a system in the called the system C. Normally we have the Dehiatakand area. From Min area to Maduroya, we have the tunnel. Then through the tunnel, we are providing the water to the Maduroya. Nowadays, the Maduroya LB canal is functioning. Its water goes to the Velikand area. especially in Madhuroya reservoirs, there are another source called it right bank canal. Now, at the moment we are not providing the RB canals because nowadays we are developing those areas, right? That is the water distribution system Mahavi and adjacent basin in Mahavi, and this is the Valava system. So in top of the Valava basin, this is the Samanlava. Actually, under the Samanlava, there is a small irrigation system, which is called the Cultivation. Directly take water from the Samanlava. Actually, the Samanlava has been constructed only for mainly for the hydropower. It has capacity, I think, 38 or 40 megawatts. After generating the power, the water will come to the Udavalava. Udavalava also has the small hydropower generation. Hydropower generation through the canals LB and RB. After Udavalava reservoirs, we have the irrigation system. These irrigation systems are managed by the Mahavi Authority and Irrigation Department. Then you can see the climate zone in Sri Lanka. So I think all the engineers know this map, but I explain this map. If you think about the dry zone, so all Mahavi areas belongs to this dry zone. That's why I am focusing this area. Then this map shows our major reservoirs. There's the Samanlava, Kasali, Mausakale, Kotmale, Randanigar, and Victoria. They are the more capacity available for the hydropower generations. Here, Mausakale, Kasali, and Kotmale are under the wet zone, right? Then Victoria, Randanigala, and Samanlava intermediate zone, right? Here, you can see in my cursor, this is the Mahavi Basin boundary. So now we are in the Yala season, right? The Kotmale is the only reservoir in Yala season we will get the rainfall. So inflow is the only inflow is to the Kotmale in Yala season. That's why I am focusing this map. Right. Then my colleagues engineer Abesirwa, they explain the irriguable land in Sri Lanka. So I am not going to explain this area, but you know, in Yala season, the irrigation land under the major irrigation system are used for cultivation. Other mine irrigation system and rain-fed cultivation area, those area we can't cultivate it in Yala season, but some cultivations are there. But under the major irrigation scheme, the benefit for the Yala season. So then, if we consider the major irrigation system, so out of 1 million acres, the Water Management Secretariat provide water for nearly 500,000. That means 48% of the land area of the major irrigation system, the Water Management Secretariat manage the water distribution with the Irrigation Department and Mahavi Authority. Right. This is the hydropower capacity in Sri Lanka. Here you can see nowadays we have the capacity. Daily normally in Sri Lanka we need nearly 49 gigawatt per hour per day. Our energy requirement for electricity. These days it is nearly 37 due to power cut. Now we are in the exam periods, O-level examination. Before that, our power needs is nearly 35 or 30, 32, 35 range. Nowadays, nearly 37 due to daytime we are not giving to the power cut. So in the Mahavi, Valava, and Kalani, we have the power capacity, that the gigawatt hour, maximum 34 around. Out of 34, Mahavi Basin contribute 21, Valava system 3, and Kalani Basins 8. This is the power maximum power production. Maximum megawatt production 1,000, nearly 1,400. In addition to, we have the mini hydropower plants also. Here you can see this map shows the average monthly rainfall from 1990 to 2020. Right now you can see this dotted box. This is the Yala period of Yala season. So I am focusing this. You see, I think you can see my cursor here. This three colors shows the rainfall, average rainfall in Victoria, Randhanagar, and Botan area. You see this. Now we are at the end of May. That's the beginning of May, June. So another 3 months we have to provide the water, right? If we consider these months, actually we will get less than 50 millimeter rainfall. Right? Then this source for the normal Yala season, we should do the proper water management for satisfying of the Yala season. So then Ukuela, you know the Mathale side Ukuela, normally Ukuela there is 100 millimeter, then Kotmale about 200 millimeter with everything. That's why earlier I saw this map. The Kotmale is the one reservoir we receive the water, the rain water inflow from Yala season. So another Castle and Mouse Valley only for the power generation. The Saman lava is the good for us for the under the Saman lava we have the Valava system. So in Valava system we don't have the problem, right? Then if we think about the Kotmale reservoir, the monthly rainfall average, the year 2000 from year 2017 to 2022, you can see the rainfall pattern. Here, the black dotted line is the current, the rainfall pattern in this year. So this rainfall pattern is same or equivalent to the 2000 rainfall pattern, right? Then we will go. We think about the Polgola area. It is close to the 2018. The Kotmale 2020. Polgola 2018. Then if you go to the Victoria, we can't say the rainfall pattern. We can't guess, right? Then if you go to the Randhanigala like this, we can't guess. So I saw those things. Actually, we can't tell actual figure for rainfall pattern. For that, now we are managing the whole 40% of the land area in the Sri Lanka. So we have to think about the rainfall pattern. That by considering the only rainfall, we can't guess our water inflows and like this. Then this is the Kotmale reservoir in Yala, basically Yala season. This is the rainfall trend. The rainfall is going upside in Kotmale. Now, here, Victoria goes down, right? And Randanigoro goes up, right? So that's why we can't think about the rainfall pattern, right? Then here, Kalava down. This is the downside. Rainfall pattern. These are the Yala season only, not Maha season. So likewise, we have to consider those things for planning the season, right? Then the average rainfall, if you consider our Mahavi area, this is the normal rainfall. It varies nearly 300 to 400, right? And for planning the season, we are consider the forecasting issues by the Met Department. Before every season, the Met Department release their forecasting. This is the April, May, and June forecast. And then this is the June, July, August forecasting. So by considering those forecasting, rainfall trend, rainfall pattern, average rainfall, and the past diversion, past water duty, and other like this, we are entering those data to our model. This is the model we study. We call this is Vista. So we will get the output. I am not going to explain. I am not going to explain those icons. So this is another subject. There are so many input and output and so many works to do here. So in my purpose, there are 3 deputy directors and 6 engineers. So they are doing those things. If the ISL wants to know about these things, we can give another day to explain. It's a very actually this is very good for our understanding, knowing about this model. Then this is the output and input data. I am not going to explain this. So by if you consider this model, the output is it gives us the water reservoir capacities in season. Then it gives the water diversion pattern, and it gives the hydropower generation pattern. Likewise, it gives, and another point is it gives, if you feed all the cultivation area and starting date and end date, it gives the how much extent we can calculate in this season or every season, right? So here I will explain this. This is a causal reservoir. So there is 2 black lines. One is average one. Another one is 80% dry curve. So this is the red color shows the actual water capacity levels, right? Likewise, it's normally the model output we use as a baseline. By experience and present situation, we have to change the diversion pattern and everything. Right. Then this is the fingers. This season, in the Yala season, we are proposed to cultivate. So due to some water restriction, Udawalawa and Liangastota is not this whole system. We are proposed to 90%, and Kandalma Huruvala area 90%, Nachiduva 70%, Kalava 75%, Dambuloe 90%. Other areas we are proposed to 100% cultivations, right? And most of the area we propose to paddy 75 and OFC 25%. In Huruluava, different 75% paddy and 25% no, not Huruluava, 75% OFC, 25% paddy. And Tambuttegam area also we propose to cultivate 70% of the whole area. From 75%, 25% paddy and 75% oats due to shortage of water. Actually we have water, but we can't divert water to Tambuttegam area. The limited, there is a tunnel no Bovatan to Tambuttegam, the Dambuloya. That is the restriction. So nowadays, the Mahavi Water Security Investment Plan going to construct another tunnel, then we can overcome this problem, right? Then now you know we are going to we are proposing to cultivate 94% of the cultivation area. So now earlier this is hectares. Earlier I saw that we are managing, we are providing water for nearly 500,000. So out of 500,000, we are proposed to cultivate. We are providing water 94% of the area. Right here, you can see that before analyzing the system season, normally electricity department CEB gives their requirement. So hydropower requirement megawatt and gigawatt. This is the April to September. They request their needs. Then we input those data and analyze the optimum power hydropower generation while providing the irrigation water. So this is the normal condition. Under the normal condition, the Mahavi contributes the 9% of the requirement of the energy, and Kalani Balaway 14%. The thermal and coal power, that's 75%. The dry conditions, Mahavi 10% contribute, Kalani Kalu 13%, and the thermal and coal 77%. So this is the now our today our focus is, our topic is the challenges on Yala season. This is the I identified eight challenges. So first one is the engineer basically also explains. One is the facilitating the necessary fuel for land preparation. So that is important. Now the land preparation, percentage of land preparation is nearly 48% matter. Then another 52% we are remaining. So sometime there may be some increase today and like now around below 60% at present. So another 40% we have to start the land preparation. So this is the one challenge. So if you don't provide the fuel, there is some fuel crisis, right? Do you think we are managing the major irrigation schemes? So in Yala season, the production is depending on the major irrigation system. The 40% means the huge amount. Right? Then the second one is making trust on the providing fertilizer and agrochemicals among the farmers. So this is the another problem. So farmers, if we are not providing the fertilizer, farmers are not willing to start the cultivations. So we know in the previous Maha season, actually our production goes to the, I think, deduction 40% or something, 50%. So that is the farmers are not willing to start the cultivation without assurance of the fertilizer and chemicals. The third one is the difficulty in quantification and distribution of irrigation water requirement due to uneven cultivation pattern. So that is the huge problem. So now we think for land preparation, the now normally 48%, we will say 60 or something. So at this stage, some farmers have established their crops. Some farmers are preparing land. some farmers are willing to start the cultivation. So earlier we will think about the previous season. Within short period, farmers are starting the cultivation and establish the crops. Now, nearly 30 days difference. Due to these deviations, we can't do the quantifications. Right? So that's a huge problem. And another one is that we can't practice the rotation. Normally, we are providing rotation after establish the crops. Now we can't do that. So some needs rotation, some need water for land preparation, some are willing to for preparation. So that is another problem. And due to this case, our engineers, actually irrigation department engineers and Mahavi engineers, they can't give the exact source needs, source issues. That's at this moment, the water are wasting due to this problem. Right? This is a huge problem. Right? Then another one, number 4, providing irrigation water for late cultivation lots during the harvesting period of other farms. So due to range, due to more range, that 30 days, normally we know before the harvesting 2 weeks, before 2 weeks, we stop the water issuing. Now we can't stop in this season. Due to that case, the farmers is some problem to travel in the harvest machines. It is another problem at the harvesting stage, right? Those things we have to consider and we have to think about. Another thing, number 5, providing domestic water during the month of August and September while providing irrigation. If we think about the previous seasons, normally in mid of the August or end of the July, normally we are not providing the irrigation water. The season is ending. But in this season, sometime we have to provide irrigation water. I think sometime maybe with the mid of the September, up to mid of the September, we should have to provide the irrigation. So then in the August, normally our resource will go down. So drinking water also may be some problem, and irrigation water may be some problem to provide those time. So now I am asking our engineers, the irrigation engineers, mainly in the irrigation department and Mahavi. So now we have to aware our farmers up to these days, beyond the end of the May or beginning of the June, it is better to aware to cultivate OFC. Then we can reduce the time duration. That is the important. The 6th one is the completing of canal maintenance work before the starting of next Maha season. So if farmers do the paddy again after this month, we have to extend our water issues up to October. We don't have the gap for maintenance. It is very huge problem for the major divers. If you think about our Minipe RB, it is a major diversion canal. So there are some lining defects and other things. So we have to close down the canal 1 month or 1 month for this repair. So we can't do this time. You think about another canal is our Hurula feeder canal. So we have to issue the water to Hurula this season. But in this season, we don't have the duration for diversion the water to Hurula. So that is another. another crisis. So 7, maximum hydropower generation while providing irrigation water for farmers. So that nowadays the farmers there is no uniform, no particular period. So then due to that case, we have to reduce the water issues quantity. So then we can't do the maximum hydropower generation. That is effect of our economy also. So we can't allow to maximum hydropower generation because we don't know the water requirement up to this season. So we have to save the water. We have to issue the required water for the irrigation, not considering the hydropower. That is another problem for facing us, the water management secretary. Right. Another 8 one, maintain of necessary water capacity in upper catchment reservoirs to suit the inflow during the upcoming northeast monsoon to minimize the spilling and maximize the hydropower. So, you know, if you have the proper irrigation water issues, we can draw down our resources to suit the incoming flow during the upcoming northeast monsoon. But we don't know the actual requirement of the other season. So we can't draw down the resources. So that is the huge problem. So we can't produce maximum hydropower. Likewise, we can't we can't guess for the reservoir inflow, so spilling. So actually, the good water management means we should focus the zero spilling. That is my aim, right? So this year we'll try so maximum power generation. Then that is the case, right? This is my challenges. So I will show the finger here. Dambuloya, Kandalama, this is a system. So, madam, can you see this is a percentage of the land preparation up to now? 61, 37, 51, like that. Right? This is so this column shows the proposed water allocation for Yala. So this is the allocations for this system. Proposed water allocation as up to now, this is the proposed allocation, right? Actual issues up to now, right? This is the percentage from this to this. Here, 57. That's good, right? This is below. Then that means land preparation 61. This is okay now. Here you can see color over. Here more than. That is the big problem for us. So we can't divert more water to color because there is a restriction for Tama. So this is in my side, this is the very huge problem to water management secretary. Others are some are in line, some are deviate, but we have to think about those things. Then this is our hydropower generation forecasting. So I am not going to, due to time constraint, I am not going to explain more. I explain the summary. The June month for nearly 15 gigawatt hour per day. July for nearly 15. August 14. September 13. Likewise. Madam, this column shows this shows the reservoir maintenance level. This is the last one, water capacity in October 1st. So before after October I start in the next Maha season, we have to keep the water capacity like this, right? And this is the lowest capacity in tanks this is the month. And this column indicates the peaking of the water levels. This is, we have to monitor those things, right? I am not going to. This is some output. This is Yala season, electric generation. This is this shows our proposed one. This is the actual one. Then thermal 72, proposed, actual 50, reduce. The Mahavi hydropower 10, 20, increase. Right. The Kalani hydropower 18 to 30. That we have saved our dollar, right? In 2000, Yala 2001. This is the Maha. This is a proposed one. This is the actual one. 80 thermal. It reduced to 49. The Mahavi hydropower 80%. It goes to 24. That is due to, madam. Next October, November, the last 2001, we had the good rainfall. So that is the thing. 1.5 month continuous maximum hydropower. That's a really good for that case due to we know the COVID pandemic season. No, that's better. The Kalani Basin also 12 to 27. These are the gigawatt hours also. Here, you know, every week we have the weekly water panel. The weekly water panel is held for the water distribution for coming weeks. So this is the hydropower generation we propose. 30th May to 1st July. Nearly 16 gigawatt hour. So then 2nd to 5th. So this week we divide into two, madam, due to during the O-level examination we have to continue the hydropower in daytime. Then after that we can cut down some power cut. Oh, that also there. So this is the day before yesterday, the hydropower power generation in Sri Lanka. You can this denotes the coal power. This denotes the hydropower, right? And this is the percentage of the Lakshapana, Mahavi, and Saman level. This is a percentage. This is the total demand, 41 gigawatt hour. Nearly 55 renewable energy. Near nowadays, the 45% coal, actually the diesel or fuel 0.5%. That is good for us, right? And this is the circle, you know. This is the table. Roughly, I tell you. This column indicates the available active water storage. This column, right? This column catchment inflow, balance water quantity, and then total expected water quantity means the active storage capacity plus catchment inflow. Then it shows this line, and this is the crop water demand for balance period. So this is the Kotmale Kalawa Kandlam area. Here, madam, this shows the red line is the some deficit, right? So we have the 333, but we need 373. There is some deficit. Another area, Hurulava, Nachiduva, Nuarava, these are green. That's we are in good position. Small differences there, Hurulava. We can cater those areas. And Victoria, Randanigala, Ulletia, LB, and Alle. This we have nearly 800. We need 600, more than enough. So if you know the irrigation required accuracy, actually we can allow to hydropower generation. This 200 MCA. Nowadays we can't guess. That's the problem, right? In Madhuraya also we have good rainfall, good water quantity, and Samanalava also good. Moragahaka and the Polonnaru and Pantel area, we have enough water. There's more enough water. So overall, we have the 300 and 3,000, around 3,300 water, but the prop water demand is 2,500. This now we are in safe side, but Tambutegumera is the problem in this. Yeah. That is the end of my presentation. I take my, I think, half an hour. Very sorry for take much time. So thank you very much, all.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation, sir, especially about the Mahavi system and about the strategy about for the hydropower generation and the uncertainties of the rainfall pattern, about the Vista model that you are using, and especially the duty of the water management secretary, and about the challenges that we are facing currently. It's time to move the next presentation, that is by the engineer Navaratnam Sudhakaran. Engineer Navaratnam Sudhakaran passed out from the Faculty of Engineering, University of Peradeniya. He has 25 years service in the irrigation department in Northern Province. He has a good exposure to the projects funded by the World Bank, JICA, Asian Development Bank, etc. He has obtained foreign trainings on water resources and dam safety in different countries such as Kenya, Netherlands, and Singapore. He has published so many technical papers on the challenges in utilizing water resources, statistical analysis of rainfall data, impacts on irrigation infrastructure development on agricultural sector, challenges in integrated water resources development and management. He was the past president of IESL in Untitled Chapter in 2012 to 2013. Currently, he is the Provincial Deputy Director, Mullaitivu Range, and Deputy Director of Irrigation Designs in the Irrigation Department in the Northern Province. Dear sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Secretary, for your brief introduction about me. Good evening, the Chairperson, Batra Madam, and my dear colleague, presenters, Engineer Abhiya Srivattana and Engineer Nilanda Tanabala, and my dear colleagues. Once again, good evening to you all. So, first of all, I must be thankful to the Water Forum of the IESL to give this ample opportunity to give our views on this national forum about in respect to the challenges in ongoing cultivation. So this is the agriculture experts, the warns of looming food crisis regarding this issue. So they clearly showed the Sri Lanka facing its worst performing cultivation season in more than a decade during the ongoing Yala season, and there's a possibility of looming food crisis in the coming months. This is an alarm warning by the experts. So this is very clearly indicates that there are some issues and challenges in ongoing Yala cultivation. So we'll see what is the background saying that the agriculture in Sri Lanka, as you know, we have 22 million people. Sri Lanka should have been self-sufficient in food, but unfortunately we are still importing. So why I'm saying it's agriculture? So 28% of the total land of Sri Lanka is the agriculture land. So I can say 1.8 million hectares of land out of 6.5 million hectares. So that is a 28%. So the climate, the water, soil are in very favor for agriculture. So beyond that, so GDP by sector, service sector, agriculture is giving 7%. So with that, I can conclude that. So Sri Lanka is an agriculture country, no doubt on that. So if you take the paddy cultivation, that is the stable food of the Sri Lanka. So we are producing around 4 million metric ton annually from both season, Maha and Yala. Yala around 4 million. So the per capita consumption of rice fluctuates is 107 kilogram, 7 kilogram. The 4 million, that is our production, is adequate for 22 million people of Sri Lanka. That is clearly indicates. So I can say simply Sri Lanka is currently virtually self-sufficient in rice, not food. So that very clearly shows there should not be food crisis. But in general, there should not be any food crisis. But why these experts are warned looming food crisis in coming months? That I need to look at. For that, I have did some case study on experts' opinion in the northern context. Since I am working in the irrigation department of Northern Province, so I am looking in my context, so northern context. So first of all, I thought of comparison of paddy extent zone. So I'm mostly talking about the paddy. That is the main cultivation in practice in our area under my purview. So paddy extent zone was harvested extent in November during Maha 2001-2010. That is some data I have seen. So as you know, Maha season average. I took last 10 years of average of Maha in our area. The gross extent of zone around 95,000 hectares, whereas the gross extent of harvested is around 92,000. So more or less same. We are happy about that. This is a general. So it's general rending. But if you take the Maha 2021-22, that but it's very unfortunate. The gross extent that we are much above the average, 104,000 hectares. But unfortunately, only 82,000 only we could able to harvest this. That is around massive reduction in the zone against the harvest, around 21% during Maha 21,000. That's very unfortunate. So, but generally it is a 3% annually. That is the case. So why? What are the reason for this variation, massive variation? It's very clear. So generally, as the flood damage regularly happens. So in the Maha season, it's a very the rainy season. So we got the flood damage is occurs. Then because this time we could not resowing due to non-availability of seed and delay in cultivation calendar to some extent. So these are the minor reason for that. So this time. But there's a main reason, as you are aware, the disease outbreak. So there were disease outbreak due to non-availability of pesticide and weedicide. That is the main case. So the harvested is reduced drastically because of there was a disease outbreak during the Yala during the Maha 2001-22 in our area. So beyond that, as you know, the fertilizer also some issue. So that is a shortage, high price, and not adaptability. So suddenly we needed to go to organic fertilizers. That adaptability was not there. So we are struggle on that. So these are the I found that my study found that this reduction. So this is clearly shows there's an adverse trend in Mahavi Maha 2021. That's a trend. So general gesture is changing to different direction. So because of this direction. So again, I have gone not only that. So I thought of comparison of yield and production during Maha 2000. That also with the harvesting we can't tell about appropriately. So I thought of having some yield and production for that. So productivity, that is yield, metric ton per hectare. So I have calculated around in general. So the average is 3.9. So whereas this Maha only 2.7. That is the case. So there's a drastic reduction in the yield also. So productivity also get reduced. Similarly, production. So generally we are getting 281,000 metric ton we produce every year, but Maha season. But this time only 164,000. The drastic reduction of 117 metric ton. That is so. That is massive reduction in productivity as well as production. So what is the reason for that? For the production and productivity reduction? Non-availability of the or high price of fertilizer. So as you know, if you don't have fertilizer, whether organic or inorganic, so we don't get number of tillering is low. So only 3-4 tillering may come. So similarly, drain filling also less. Pipeline also get low. So we have experience on that. So beyond that, susceptible for pest and disease also get reduced because of absence of fertilizers. The root development low. So those are the main reason our yield, our production get reduced. So similarly, non-availability of pesticide weed, that is the main case. Is both the weed infestation and pest and disease incidents are occurred. So those are the reasons mainly I found that for the production and productivity reduced. So this is leads really significant reduction. I can conclude that significant reduction in food production in Maha to 21-22. That is the case. So that going to impact in this Yala also. That's the case. So similarly, this is a case. The present status of the ongoing Yala. That's why we are interested. So how we are going to face it, or how the trend is like that. So this year we plan. So in November we plan for 28,500 hectares of paddy plan to plan to cultivate. But unfortunately, up to now, up to end of the 30th of today, only 26,000. So fairly good. We have started shown. So we expect in a couple of 2 weeks time. So normally in Mana district of Northern province get a little late. So they will end up with in another 2 weeks time, we can achieve at least 26,800. So more or less planned, and so maybe high because of our intervention. I will talk about that later. So but unfortunately to be given up, around 1,700 hectares of land need to be given up. Even we have planned because of water availability, we have planned. But unfortunately, still we have going to given up around 1,700. So reason for reduction in paddy extension. So I can say, I don't need to explain again once and again. So not preferred seed paddy on time. So that's the case. So there are even still the agriculture department of farmers having the paddy, but that is not the preferred one. If they want their preferred one, they can't get it now. So higher prices. So because of, as I told, so due to the trickle down negative impact of Maha 21-22, so it affect now. So because we can't get the seeds now because of trickle down negative impact. Similarly, fuel shortage, I don't need to tell about that. If you have the fuel, we are uncertainty of the fuel availability. So with the risk, we can't start the cultivation. That's the case. So because as you know, fuel needs to be land preparation. So people are still some reluctant. So last 2 weeks back, they are unable to rag on our date has been lapsed because of delay in land preparation. The intercultural operation, that also needs some fuel. Transport of agriculture, those are so that affect fuel shortages. That's again high price and substandard of organic and inorganic fertilizer. That's the case. So we expected to go for now very clear we can use both organic and inorganic, but that is both prices are very high. So other one very unfortunate substandard of organic inorganic material. So people are some businessmen doing is a very substandard fertilizers. That was a very issue nowadays. Not only fertilizer, pesticide, and business. They are so that's the case. Then no irrigation infrastructure development due to financial limitation because of the economic crisis in the country. So we are unable to do much infrastructure development for the successful cultivation. So higher price for the farm machinery and their spare parts. As you know, no importation, no spare parts, so the rates are high. Even rent out also we have high. So then the limited extension service of agriculture officers because we even public officers are unable to go to the site frequently. So that also is some due. So though I can say, though extent shown is satisfactory level. So you see 28,500, we can reach 26,800. That's fairly okay. Satisfactory level. But harvest, yield, production might get reduced as per the past experience during the Mahaji. So I can say, so definitely harvesting get reduced, absence of all these explain all these lapses explained now. So that is the case. So I can end up with the slide, possibility of looming food crisis in the coming months. So as experts in the agriculture warn, so there is a possibility of food crisis. I am endorsing some extent based on my studies. So I can say, conclude the outcome of this case study, the 2022 Yala season has become extremely crucial growing season as experts warn. That's very clear. I'm aligned with them. So, but we can, if they say we can go beyond. So it is essential to make the Yala season a success, especially in order to recover from the adverse rain created during Mahavi 21-20. So if we don't break this point, so we have to trickle down effect. That means Yala Maha 22-23 will affect, then 23 Yala will affect. So it's a continuous process. So we have to break this at this point, but some any means. So similarly, obtain seed paddy required for the 22-20. That's a very Washington because of the failure or adverse trend of 21-22. So we are facing seed paddy issue. Now this not be carried forward to the 22-23 Maha season. That's the case. That need to be break. So similarly, so the looming issue of ensuring the food security. So if you don't do full extent or expected avail, so we can't ensure the food security as they want. So those are the outcome of my study in order to ensure the warning. So I can say, so needs boosting. So simply say, so there's an issue. We can't be there. Needs boosting agriculture. So at this point, we need boosting agriculture. The facing challenges with the available resources. So we have limited resources, as everybody knows. So, but we have to do boosting. For that, the Irrigation Department of Northern Province also has some mandated responsibility in this exercise. We can away from that. We have to face it, or we have to contribute from our end. So accordingly, as you know, Irrigation Department Northern Province, I don't need to explain about my structure. Very simple. As Irrigation Department, Central Irrigation Department, we same mandate to do same way. So we have. So please note down, we have provincial irrigation plan maintaining major medium tanks. So out of 54 major medium tanks, of which 9 major medium tanks, including Irregular, or major scheme in Northern Province. That is maintained by our department. That details, the district-wise detail and photos are here. I don't need to explain. Yes. So there's a positive nature despite challenges during Yala 21-20. That was I need to highlight. So everywhere, so positive nature, because of that I can say the increase of rainfall during this challenging period. So I will tell you see, we have come across plenty of rainfall during 3 seasons. Second inter monsoons, we expected 351 millimeter. We got 400 millimeter. So this trend is shown. We have higher rainfall during needed time. So that is the positive nature, so despite challenges. So that we had to take up advantage. So accordingly, because of rainfall, high rainfall, all 54 major schemes under our purview. So 75% of the capacity of the tank, all the 70 full of water. So if you take the number, it's almost filled. So all 54 schemes are above the capacity because of mainly because of rainfall. That's a God-gifted nature given to us. So that I can conclude the effect that is. So we have water that need to be effectively tapped, God-gifted nature. So we should not miss it. So in order to face the food security challenges, crisis. So in that regard, as I told my department, we have water. We have God-gifted water. We have set up a department, a strong department in Northern Province. We don't do minor schemes. We do major and medium schemes, where we have proposed alternative strategy for the Yala 2000. That is the main concept of today's workshop. So that I am going to propose what are the alternative strategies for Yala 2021. So that is, first one is increased Yala extent under major medium irrigation scheme. So we have 52 scheme. I can't say all 52 emerging minerals can be increased Yala simply. So no. So we have water, but we cannot do that. You know, there are some reasons. But of which, so we could be able to increase. So from the this year also we have increased the. So normally every year we try to increase the Yala cultivation so that our cropping intensity increasing. So last I can say our cropping intensity before the war. So from 2009 it was only 1.4. Now it's become beyond national average 1.54, 56. So some of the see more than that also. So that is we are. So we are increasing. Yala cultivation is a very popular and very effective cultivation. So we need to do the more cultivation during the Yala cultivation. That is the case. So accordingly, of the 54 schemes, so 2 schemes we couldn't do that. 52 schemes we could able to 48,000 acres of land. This increased due to the more water availability in the tank. That is because of the rainfall. So beyond that, so intensive promotional effort to increase the food production. That's the case. Everybody talking about how possible way we have to do the cultivation. Wherever the land, we need to do the cultivation. So if you have the water, you do the cultivation. In that way, the promotion, every official started to promote. That's also one reason. So we increasing the Yala cultivation this year. So this is very clearly indicate that sustained paddy production in Yala 2002. At least we can't say no. We can increase or we can we can stop the crisis, but we can sustain in our purview. We can sustain paddy production in Yala because, as I explained earlier, so our plan extend and the plans actual shown also more or less same. That is indicates we are sustaining the paddy production in Yala. So we are very much sure about that. So similarly, that is the first strategy we did it. Second one, very interesting, the introduction of new version of wet mass system in Vaunikulam major designs. It's a very paradigm changes in the history of Vaunikulam this time. Because of this crisis, that's the point. So we have this paradigm change need to be done for every scheme, but we were unable to do so. But this is crisis time, we capitalize. These changes have been made. I will tell about that. So new version of, so we do, as you know, we are riser, we also in the riser. So we do wet mass system in all our 54 schemes. But in first time in the history of one of the major team called Vaunikulam, where cultivation are being done on their own land. They can't do. So normally wet mass system, you know, so wherever possible, they will move closest to the tank, they will do that. So here it is not so. So we limit the farmers to do their own land. That's the case. So we allocated for their land because in that case definitely some area has to be deprived sense no they have to leave out. So that's the case. But there are some advantage doing this one because abandoned land brought under cultivation. As you know, around out of 6,000 acres, around 800 acres abandoned. But if you do but they every year they get the chaha of through the Bedma system. They are getting the shares. So they accordingly they come and do. They don't do the cultivation their land, but they will do the Yala cultivation in the nearby allocated land. That is not so. Because of that land still after 10 years of war ended. So still that is under abandoned condition. But fortunately, this introduction, they have started improve, clear the land and they do the cultivation because they can't get the next time they can't get the water to that side. That's the case. So that's the one reason. Similarly, water duty also get reduced because we don't need to give everywhere. So we confine to one channel. So there are 3 channels. We confine to one channel called LB channel. So that because of the ratio, we given NTLB canal to the farmers. So they confine. Those farmers can only do the cultivation. So because this is two reasons I can say this is beneficial. Because of this organic policy, so people have already placed the manure. But this time, so same people can get benefited out of that. So if you give someone, so the original owner won't get it. So that was one of the reasons. That is encourage the farmers for the manure or organic fertilizer application. That's one reason. So encouraging, that is the main reason I am telling, encouraging OFC cultivation in the land not cultivated in the paddy land. So if you take RV canal, we don't do any cultivation, paddy cultivation. We confine to LB canal only. But RV is free of no cultivation in the paddy. So we promote the people to do the OFC cultivation. That is the advantage, the prime advantage during this case, because as you know, the OFC cultivation is very much water. So we are very, whoever wants to do the OFC, we are free to give the water. That's the policy we are maintaining. So because we need to do the what you call OFC cultivation or crop diversification. That also we need to do. This is a very, very interesting paradigm changes of the history. This is an innovative approach. So we will realize the the end of harvesting, we'll realize the real impact of this nature. This is an innovative approach, I can say. Similarly, third alternative is other field crops in lowland. That's the crop diversification practice. So as you know, in Irregular itself, so we started this practice. So we can't simply confine to the paddy cultivation in the all 54 major cities. Wherever possible, I can say so certain percent tank can be done for the crop diversification. Wherever possible, we need to do the crop diversification. That's a very advantage for the in terms of money or finance or livelihood will be enhanced. That's the case. So wherever possible, we do. So that we started in Irregular during the project period. So we encourage people do the cultivation, OFC cultivation with the paddy cultivation. Even Yala season, wherever possible, we need to do. So for that, we did some soil suitability study for the command area, wherever possible. I can't say everywhere we can do the OFC cultivation. Wherever possible, we need to do that. So that practice we started. We stinges. So some blood on that. So people are now started from 2017 onwards. They have started little bit, very reluctant. Honestly speaking, very difficult to convince the farmer to go for a crop diversification. But little we started. Now moving on. So that is there. So what is the trick we have? We will say each and every cultivation meeting, we will give the free share of water to the farmers who are willing to do the OFC in lowland. If you are prepared to do the OFC in lowland, so no share, no water, free of water. Who anyone can do that. That's the advantage. Otherwise, if you want to do the paddy cultivation, they need to get the chair. If you don't have the chair, they need to buy from other farmer, and they do that. That's very expensive. But here, if you are really interested, you'll give free of charge for the water. Water. That's the case. So accordingly, this time around 3,000 acres of land in all three districts, Kilnochi, Mullaitivu, and Vaunia. So we are going for a crop diversification, of which so around 1,200 metric ton can be enhanced in other field crops. So of which monetary value of additional revenue we can contribute to the country around 600 million, 634 million. This way we are working. So we need to contribute to the revenue this time. So definitely this will minimize the food crisis. That is the third case. Similarly, third season cultivation of OFC. So that also we are practicing now, because as I told, that is start from the Vaunikulam. So you can see Vaunikulam now free of land, RB land is free. So we can encourage farmer to go for a third season cultivation. So we have some limited water sense. I can say India RB can be done OFC, no. But so certain area can be done OFC. So that is a third season cultivation also we are going to do this time. So accordingly, I can say not only Vaunikulam, there are 10 tanks, including Irunamadu, Pudumurimpu, Muthiankattu, all tanks. So we are going to, so all the Yala cultivation started already started being done. So now we are planning for a third season, because there's a crisis we need to do. That's what I told, that we are motivating the people. You have to do that, because we have, so we are smartly we are talking about, we have water. So we can give. You do the third cultivation. We are very much sure about the OFC. We don't want much water compared to paddy. So we are encouraging. So accordingly, this time we plan to go for a, other than crop diversification, we are going to go for a 1,960 acres of oilseed. We can't go paddy now, so time is over. So we had to convert into the paddy oilseed. So that through that also we can develop, we can generate some additional revenue to the revenue contribution to the country around 3,403. So I have all these calculations I have with me. Similarly, so fourth one is the oilseed cultivation under lift irrigation. So as you know, we have 70 numbers of schemes in Northern Province. So each and major scheme or medium scheme, we have the lift irrigation. So you know, very famous, one of the best or one of the pioneer project for Trivayar lift irrigation also under Irregular we have. So solar powered energy. So that is there. So unfortunately, due to this war and conflict situation in our area, only 5 schemes revived, including Trivayar up to now. So other 5 schemes being revived now. So other source of fund. So with that, we are proposing cultivation under lift irrigation scheme as well this time. So accordingly, I can say around 8,045 acres. So around 5 schemes revived. Under all 5 schemes, we propose to do the 85 acres of land. Different crop proposed. Even one place we are proposing silly cultivation. It's a very popular in our Mullativ area. It's a dry silly, very popular. We call it a Mullai dry silly. In that way, we are working on that. So that is definitely advantage for us. So for that also, I can say additional revenue contribution to the country, around 400 million can be contribute to our country. So that's that way we are going. These are additional new for the especially for meet the crisis situation now. So in order to that, we need to, that's the next one. So we need to give some awareness program that also we have started, even though we are mandated to do so. Some awareness program on good agriculture practice. So people are talking for a long time, but not practice in the field. Now the time for practicing at the field, because so everywhere issue, food issue, food security issue. So this is a time to cultivate our concept or push our concept at this time to the farmers. Accordingly, we do OFC cultivation on the bund in the field wherever possible. You know, we never do it. Now we are motivating people. So there are places in every flat land we have the bunds. So where we can put some other OFC. It's a black crammer, whatever, even whatever we can put it. That's where we are promoting. So they started for at least for their survival. For their nowadays the vegetable is a high price in our area. So we are promoting. Just put it in the bund in the field. That's the case. Similarly, the cleaning the channel for weed control. So weed control is a big issue. We don't have we decide and all. We decide. So we need to control it because they are unable to afford to buy and do the things. So that need to be cleaning the channels for weed control. That need to be done. Then otherwise it will get spread everywhere. They can't do that. So without weedicide and all. So that we need to. Now we are promoting. Wherever channels waters need to be clear. That need to be done by the farmers itself. We also can support. In order to that, we are encouraging raw seeding by providing adequate water. So because as you know, it's a very at the beginning very difficult task, but we are giving. So as you know, this time we don't much worry about we have water comparatively more. So after the cultivation meetings, we have got the water. So that meter can be given for certain things. So since they don't have any, so for that we need to give. So accordingly, we are encouraging to do some make. I don't say 100% cannot do that because very labor intensive and all. So seeding, raw seeding is the best practice in order to avoid this what you call this weed problem and other insect problem that need to be done. So encourage transplantation by providing adequate. That we have a lot of agriculture people having the land preparation. So for that, so from our end, we can give some water. I don't say we need more water, much water for that. But wherever, so what really they wanted, so they need to do some intensive work at the beginning. For that, they need to level it and all. So we can give water to them. So this time definitely our duty may get increased little. So we don't mind it because they can't afford to buy the weedicide or pesticide or fertilizer at that time. Similarly, irrigation water for the weed control. So that again I'm telling. So normally we don't give water. We don't give. It's not a good practice. Normally we don't do that. So water, we are giving water to control the weeds. That's a good practice. Never do it. But this time they are doing. We are looking at because since they don't have any weedicide also. Those are the good agriculture practice. I don't say this last one is a good agriculture practice, but we are encouraging. So we don't have any other choice. So these are the awareness program we are making. So we have each and every scheme. We have the farmer organization, farmer federation, and well setup is there. We are the key role to play. So Samir Namadu, we are the main role to play. So accordingly, we are making some awareness to do so. So wherever possible, I don't say entire things. These will definitely impact our improve. So because of this activity, definitely our yield or production may get increased. So that address our food crisis. So with that, I can say my conclusion. So the way forward to the society that now we professional, respective of discipline. So we don't irrigation engineer, civil engineer, whatever, or agriculture. So we have to be work as a team to increase the water and food productivity. That's God gifted. In our area, we have God gifted. I am always talking about God gifted water nature. So out of 103 river basin, we fortunate to have 24 river basin in our area. Around 2000 MCM water can be cultivated. So we have that need to be properly harvested. So that similarly food yield also, the productivity also has to be increased. That's possible. This is a correct time. That is sustainable. We need to do the sustainable manner to face the looming food crisis. That's our what do you call our experts warn that there will be a looming food crisis. So that needs to be addressed. That's possible if you work together, all professionals. So it's definitely irrigation, ISL or engineers has to play bigger role in this area wherever possible. So accordingly, irrigation as an irrigation engineer, we need to do lot to address this one. That's all my presentation. Thank you for these are the reference I took. All the detail I got it from owner have the details, data and analysis, everything I have. The Department of Sense of Statistics, we have got all the most of the data. Central report of 2020-21, 2021 not received yet. So from that only GDP and all I got it. So the Agriculture Department, Northern Province gave the real data from them. So then Wikipedia also about the agriculture. Irrigation Department, Northern Province, we have. So as I told, out of altogether 63 major medium tank in Northern Province, 54 major medium tanks are governed by under our purview. So we have more data on that. So the island paper, that warning issue I got from the island paper, there's a looming issue, looming of food crisis. So that's all. These are my references. With that, I can conclude my talk. Thank you once again. I thank you to the Water Forum giving this such a wonderful opportunity for the provincial level people to the national level. So thank you for that. Sorry for I take another 10 minutes more allocated only 15 minutes. I took 10 minutes more. Very sorry about it. So thank you once again. I am prepared to give any answer during the discussion time. Thank you, Madam.
In terms of the productivity of the food and for the descriptive alternatives that you proposed. And now it's time for us for the panel discussion. The panel discussion will be moderated by Engineer Bhadra Kamaladasa, Chairperson of the Water Forum IESL. Madam, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Janaka. I hope you can hear me. I want to thank the three panelists for their wonderful, very informative presentation. I want to actually start with the point raised by Engineer Sudhakaran. You said water is a God-given thing. So when I was listening to the presentations, I thought it is a God-given wisdom to all these irrigation engineers who are managing at this moment. I mean, I just can't think of the starting point and end of this whole story. After listening to the challenges, actually, I got bit of a confusion, got confused how to start the moderation of the panel. Anyway, once again, I want to thank, and since we didn't want to actually disturb the presenters, giving the giving the warning of the time, because it was so impressive. I mean, the materials covered are definitely very valuable, and also it gives a clear idea what is going on, because most of the time we hear from the agriculturalists and also from the farmers the current situation from the news mass media or social media, but not the exact position of the problem, I mean, from the point of view of the irrigation engineer. So I think here during this panel discussion, the three main on two national organization, and also we invited Northern Provincial Council, because they are the first major stakeholder. You would have seen the figures presented by Engineer Sudhakaran. So we will take maybe maximum 20 minutes, because we are already late. We have spent nearly 2 hours now for the presentations. So I can see about 4 or 5 questions on the chat box. I will take those questions first. And in the meantime, you can raise your hand if you have many questions. May I kindly ask Engineer Sudhakar to unshare the presentation, then we can see the those people who raise their hands. Yeah, I will first. I can see some hands raising, but for the first question in the chat box is by C. Amrita Silan. Please let us know possibility of introduction of small scale solar panel as alternative sources due to lack of fuel. So Engineer Sudhakar already elaborated on this point. And may I pose this question to Engineer Abesirivardhan and also Engineer Nilantha to answer that question in kindly. Engineer Abesirivardhan.
Yes, madam. I think, madam, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question according to the present situation of the country. But all are asking for solar panel. But when we study the case, we have the solar energy, but we have the space. There are some other issues. In a small scale solar panel in rooftop is not sufficient. That is also good, but not sufficient according to the present crisis situation. We propose as irrigation department to utilize our reservoir space, water spread area for fixing floating solar panel for the mega scale project without affecting the environmental issues. Then we proposed it, but the only problem is national grid transmission system is not sufficient in so many cases, but it will be considered by the government now. And it is all the national proposal is we created from the irrigation department in water resource sector, and we already proposed to the government. the government can utilize this water spread area of our reservoirs without any problem. So earlier it was proposed to use the forest area. That we said that is not good for the country, and we proposed they can utilize our water spread area in the reservoirs. Almost 4% of the 4% of the country land is covered by reservoirs, so they can easily utilize. Small scale also no matter, but CB is considered already. But mega scale, 1 megawatt generation, they need 5 acres to generate 1 megawatt electricity. They need 5 acres of land. Thereby, it is they need huge land. That is the answer. We are ready. Irrigation department, Director General of Irrigation is always ready to offer this area for any study.
Okay, thank you. May I ask Engineer Yala?
In the Mahavali side also, actually we have given our consent for putting up the floating solar in our resources. So actually at the moment I say this the solar power, the percentage of solar power is 0.71. The gigawatt hour, if we yesterday, day before yesterday, nearly 0.3 gigawatt hour. That's the beauty. If we are putting the small solar, then household can bear. But if you go further, more capacity needed to add this forum. So already we have given the consent for our solar power floating solar, as well as we are allowable to solar power generation for the Mahavi land also, especially in Wallava area we have provided. Okay, madam, thanks.
Thank you. I think Engineer Sudhakar, you mentioned about the solar power usage in lift irrigation scheme.
Yeah.
But here, what they highlighted is generating power using the panels, solar panels in the irrigable area or canals or SO areas. Is there any proposal under your provincial department as well?
Yes, madam. Yeah. So as I told, we try to, we have 17. Sorry, we have 17 lift irrigation schemes. Wherever possible, we are promoting for the solar power system. If you take the Trivayar is a bigger scheme, around 250 kilowatt can be produced. That is we can't go that level. But for the small scale, so if we take under the Boundary Kulam, there's a scheme called Puvarsam Kulam, where we recently installed 10 kilowatt of solar panel generation can be done. So that way we are moving to that direction. Beyond that, madam, so as our colleague pointed out, we are moving to some what you call water, the floating panel system also we are introducing. Very fortunately, Faculty of Engineering of University of Jaffna in Kilinochchi, where first time in the Sri Lanka, they started floating generation of solar. So about one of our ponds in that area. So that is my first concept they have started. So that can be replicated in our scheme as well. That way we are working on that. So then beyond that, now our Honorable Governor requested me to see the possibility of the solar power along the canal. So ideally that is also possible because the land is limited. We can't go private or public land. We can't get it now. But now the place for within the bed area or canal. That way we are proposing for the other scheme as well. That is very ideal. I don't know the very detail about the things, but it's generally policy wise is very acceptable. Sustainable energy we need to promote through the solar system in our scheme, sir.
Okay, Thank you very much.
I can share the very detailed, informative slides, not slides, madam, document for the what are the solar powered energy system in our area. So I will share it to you, madam, to the audience.
Okay.
No, you can proceed, but I'll share it.
Okay. Then Engineer Kapila has asked the question about the can this suitable area be cultivated with organic fertilizer made with the system without reduction of harvest. I'm sure all the three panelists covered almost their view on this. May I again ask Engineer Peswardana your reply to this particular question?
Sorry, madam, problem is not clear. Now that fertilizer and the yield problem, I think. Yield. Yeah. The question was that
I think what Engineer Kapila wanted to know is within the system. I want to highlight the point that is asking. Is Engineer Kapila here in the audience?
yes, man, I got the question. Can these irrigable lands be cultivated with organic fertilizer made with within the system without reduction of harvest?
Yeah.
That was harvest. Yeah. Actually, we are not agricultural specialists, but according to the previous Mahaseason experience, one problem is we have no genuine organic fertilizer. That is what we have to mention first. No genuine, very rarely farmers can find genuine organic fertilizer. That is one problem. Other one, without the quantity also not available with a huge irrigation area. 1 million acres area, no one can provide that quantity. Later, that 500 kilos per acre was decided. That huge quantity cannot be provided. That was another problem. Anyway, government accepted and government decided to go with organic fertilizer and chemical fertilizer as well. Anyway, according to the Maha experience, last Maha, only 55% of the average yield received by the farmers in major irrigation. 55% of the previous yield got by the farmers during past Maha season. So now government decided policy-wise to issue chemical fertilizer, but depending on the financial crisis, it is getting delayed further and further. But without fertilizer, without chemical and fertilizer, the yield goes down up to 55% according to the statistics available in major irrigation. We need that fertilizer actually.
Yeah. Thank you, Engineer Peswardana. Actually, to save the time, I will go to the next question directly. I can see Engineer has shared his slide as well. Thank you very much for that. May I go to the question raised by Engineer Prasanna? I will direct to Engineer Nanda. He's asking, is there any special agreement with CB regarding the use of water for power generation in the crisis situation?
Yeah, and actually, madam, we don't have the agreement, but by providing the irrigation water, we should generate the power, and we should generate the power by minimizing the spilling. Actually, our aim is to provide the irrigation water and domestic water, right? Actually, domestic water quantity is very less. Normally, 1 MCM per day, the drinking water requirement present in our system. So our aim is providing the irrigation water while providing irrigation water, normally generate the irrigation hydropower. That is the not the agreement. That's the way. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Land. I'm sure you have got idea about this arrangement between the CB and Mahavi Authority. So the mutual understanding, on the mutual understanding, they manage this system. So Ms. Kusuma Kaur, the question, does this information about the expected water availability capacity reach farmers so that they may use it for their own planning? Actually, Engineer Sudhakaran already addressed that issue. He was highlighting that they are conducting awareness programs with the farmers. And I'm sure other two organizations also following the same thing, especially during this crisis situation. Am I correct, Engineer Nilanta? You are not taking the decisions on your own alone, but discussing with the farmers and also getting their consent for any decision, and also making them aware what is happening.
Yes, yes, madam. Before starting the any season, so firstly we are taking the detail from the farmers, and then we can take system wise, and we are analyzing if there are any problem for issuing water. We allow them to cultivate as their request. If not enough for the water for season, so we are asking them to change and do the cultivation as according to the water availability. That is the way.
Thank you very much. There is another question in the chat box. Before going to that one, may I ask Dimutu Lakmal to raise your,
Yes,
the question, please?
yes, madam. Am I clear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm Dimatu. I'm just asking this one as engineer and as a farmer, because actually I'm in the Mahavi area, but I previously I have many questions when the first two presentations were going on, but finally actually I got more answers from the final presentation. But I have one question from that final presenter. I cannot remember the name, sir. Do you present that one to the main organizations, because I didn't see any of those in practice in other in my province, actually in the eastern province. So because there are some lack of, because as per the two presentations, the main problem was the fuel and the fertilizer, but it is a very common questions, but we as engineers and as a farmer, I didn't see that much of intention for given to the solutions, because as per that some of the that in some of the data in the first two presentations, that they have calculated some average from taking the other candy and other area also to the present, but normally we know that the northern, eastern and northwest, this area had a major contribution to the especially our rice production. Therefore, I think that according to that one, there are some lack of because the today topic is regarding the Yala session existing one. So it is still there are some lack of people are not much interested on doing the farming in this area due to that many crises which was discussed in the last presentation. So my question is those which identified problems and answers in the last presentation was discussed at the national level or not, or if they have identified and discussed what are the decisions taken to overcome that situation. Thank you, madam.
Engineer Sudhakar, what is your response here?
So we are very much concerned about your views. Absolutely. So his intention is, so people are starving for everything. but we are talking in something else. Yeah, that is true. So definitely we have to concern about we also part of your system. We are very much concerned about on that also. As institution, or we have some certain limitation on that. So from our end, how can we address in our area, our purview? So we highlighted. So this fuel issue, fertilizer issue, how it's going to affect in that way, we presented. But now the problem is, so from our purview, how we can address those, even absence of those, how we can improve our system or to meet the crisis. Accordingly, we are working. As you correctly pointed out, this has to be tabled at the national level. Our concerns, your concerns, all to be the national ISL has to play a good role. National level, this has to be disseminated to them or presented to them, and we need to do so. Definitely, we'll take up your concern and we'll look into that. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Indil Sekaran. Actually, one of the objectives of this webinar is that exactly. Now, when we were planning the water forum activities at the beginning of the year, we had this idea of discussing about the current water crisis. At that time, it was not so bad. I mean, this fuel crisis and other things were not there at that point. So we were thinking about the water shortages and El Nino situations and climate change impacts and things like that. Now things have been changed so much. We had to confine on only to discuss about the Yala season only at this point. So definitely we will prepare a report based on the discussions here today. I mean the presentation, and from the ISL Council, we are going to submit it to the government for their attention. Okay, thank you very much for that information, for that reply. Then may I ask Engineer Nilantha to answer this question? Can we use Victoria as a hydro battery, water sufficient or not? Is it clear? That was asked by one engineer.
I think this is the electrical side. We don't know about the hydro battery. I think it is better to give anything to answer.
Chanaka, we will forward this subject to one of our engineers in the ISL, electrical engineer, and definitely this is an important question. We will think about, I mean, we will get some input from the expert in that area, and also it will be answered, the question will be answered in our final report. Thank you very much for your question. Then I can't see any other hand raising, and also any other questions, Janaka? Since we have spent more than 2 hours now, I want to conclude this movement. I'm sure most of you are tired by now after the full day work, and also after until late night to have the discussion like this. So I will hand over the forum again to Engineer Janaka, and to conclude the presentation, the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for the fruitful panel discussion, moderation by the engineer Bhadra Kamaladasa. Since we are going very timely schedule, the next item according to the agenda is the presentation of token of appreciation. First, I would like to invite Engineer Bhadra Kamaladasa, the chairperson of the Water Forum IESL, to present the token of appreciation to the Engineer Nilantha Thanapala, sir, for presenting the presentation today. And the token of appreciation to Engineer token of appreciation for the engineer D. Abesirivardhana sir, and that will be forwarded as soon as possible, most probably tomorrow. And the token of appreciation for engineer Sudhakaran sir, that will be sent via courier service as soon as possible. And we have come to the end of a very fruitful and very interesting discussion about the challenges in the ongoing Yala cultivation. And it's time to conclude our session. Special thanks for the participants who are waiting here for a long time from the 7 p.m. And I would like to warmly welcome the Secretary of the Water Forum, IESL, Engineer Tilini Kaushalya, to forward the vote of thanks and the concluding remarks.
Good evening, Engineer Bhadra Kamaladasa, Chairperson of the Water Forum IESL, Engineer D. Abesirivardhana, Engineer Nilantha Dhanapala, and Engineer Navaratnam Sudhakaran, our resource persons today, Executive Committee members of the Water Forum, all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion as the Secretary of the Water Forum. First of all, I extend my gratitude to the speakers today, Engineer D. Abesirivardhana, Engineer Nilantha Dhanapala, and Engineer Navaratnam Sudhakaran for sharing your valuable experience, knowledge, and opinions with us. Dear Sir, it was an important and interesting presentation session which helped us to learn about challenges in ongoing Yala cultivation. And it allows us to rethink about our individual and collective responsibilities to combat this agricultural crisis. Further, I'd like to acknowledge our gratitude to Engineer Bhadra Kamaladasa, Chairperson of the Water Forum, for moderating this event effectively. Once again, I express our deepest sense of appreciation to all the resource persons and the moderator on this virtual platform. My special thanks goes to Lanka Jalani for participating in this event as the collaborative partner. Then I would like to thank Engineer Janaka Priyantha, Chairperson of the Young Engineers Water Forum Subcommittee, for comparing and organizing this event. I am also very grateful to the members of Young Engineers Water Forum Subcommittee for their great efforts in making this event a success. I also like to extend our gratitude to the members of IESL Secretariat for their support in making arrangements for the event. At last but not least, I like to thank all the participants who are with us during this lecture today. I hope this lecture enlightened your understanding on challenges in ongoing Yala cultivation in this year. Thank you all again and wish a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Good night.
Thank you for everything. Good night.